Okay, we're gonna hope this works. Last time I said this microphone won't work anymore. It gets like this really buzzy sound. I'm just hoping the buzzy sound doesn't happen this time. I read a couple things about that and I'm just hoping it was a couple random flukes or whatever. The waiting game. You know those moments when you're, well, usually more than just a moment, but you're waiting for something to take place and you end up just wasting your time away because you're so focused on that one thing and you don't allow yourself to do anything else. Maybe like other stay-at-home moms, you're waiting for your husband to get home, you think he's gonna be home soon, so you keep just like going by the window and checking if his truck is pulling in yet. Maybe you had scheduled a flight for this morning, but then you got sick, so then you had to reschedule. And now you're stuck in this limbo mode of your brain, thinking that you're supposed to be going on an airplane and traveling, but instead you're stuck at home where you need to do laundry and your floor needs to be mopped. Otra vez. This is something I have really struggled with recently. Actually rebooked my flight 6 times. Yes, 6 times to come up here. My suitcase I had partially packed and it was partially packed for weeks and I kept tripping over it in my bedroom, but I didn't want to put it away because I was supposed to be leaving soon and I didn't want to finish packing because I wasn't quite leaving yet, and then I had to reschedule and on and on and on. By the way, before we get into the rest of this stuff, last December I took a trip up here up north by myself. It was beautiful. It was so lovely. It was so peaceful, quiet solitude. It was incredible. It was so nice to just spend some time in nature.
Aquí estoy feliz.
It was the first and the only time I've ever done anything like this in my life, going stay somewhere by myself for a weekend.
Me encanta ese sonido del lago y de la nieve.
I filmed todo el fin de semana, and I'm sure I had a lot of great little nuggets to share with y'all, but alas, I left my SD card hanging around the house and some little mouth got a hold of it, chewed it up, and now my footage is all rendered lost, disappeared into the ethers. Cannot be recuperated. Thankfully, I did film a few clips and took a few pics on my phone, so I was able to put that in here. And there's some beauty to be shared, at least from that so lovely weekend. I couldn't just share it all randomly without trying to give some sort of value with the video though, so that's what this talking part is about. But I did want to share the beauty, so I'll put the stuff in throughout the video. So I wanted to share this struggle that I have been struggling with, playing the waiting game, in hopes that maybe some of you will relate, maybe some of you will realize you do this and you can work on it yourselves. Maybe some of you have some useful advice to share about the waiting game and staying out of it or getting out of it, or tips, whatever you have.
Holy cow, tengo sueño. Llegando al lugar. I need to figure out how to turn on the heat. Never done this before, so hopefully I can figure it out. Just kidding. I gotta go pee first, but to go get the toilet paper from the car, and then I get to go sit in that house, woohoo, and freeze my butt off. It's been a while. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. This is right. I just opened this thing. I'm supposed to hold this down for a minute, and then I think this is the lighter, right? To light the pilot. Oh gosh. This is not working. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Don't have service over here. Did I mention I don't have service this whole day? Yeah, still don't have service. So You hear that? It's flaming. Pretty soon it should be warm.
You might not even realize you do this, but I bet if you pay attention, you will find yourself in this mode of waiting at some point. Comment below though if you have found yourself in this. Please tell me I'm not the only one who does this. And maybe you can share what you've done to get out of it, and that's what I am planning on doing here too. When I'm in the waiting mode though, a lot of times it's like my brain can't even get to thinking about any sort of thing to get myself out of it. I just end up kind of wandering around aimlessly, tal vez buscando comida, looking in the fridge, in the cupboards, some sort of snack. I sit on the couch just scrolling through my phone, maybe hoping that something there will entertain me. And of course, continuously look at the clock to see, has another second passed yet? Has another minute passed yet?
I love this view. I have no signal while I'm right here, so I have to go across the road closer to the lake to get a signal on my phone so I can call my babies and say good morning.
I'm normally a very productivity focused person. I love to feel productive. I love to check things off my to-do list. And any day that I feel like I got things done that day is a happier, more fulfilling day. Way more so than those days that I feel like I just sat around all day and didn't do anything. And with 2 kids and working as a virtual assistant and doing YouTube, plus all the learning I like to do and all the hobbies I have, there's always something more fun to do. When I end up playing the waiting game, I end up feeling so unhappy, negative, and impatient, of course. I just want time to pass by and hurry up already, get to the next thing. And before I know it, another day has passed by where I haven't worked on a YouTube video. Why do we allow our expectations that are always perfection? Because admit it, like whenever you have an expectation of something, it's like such a perfect, lovely image. Why do we let those perfection images and expectations get in the way of living reality and just enjoying what's in front of us? I heard mentioned somewhere, no sé a dónde, in a book or a podcast or something, how when we go out to, maybe we go to the beach to watch the sunset, right? We don't have an expectation of like, yes, this is gonna be the best sunset I have ever seen in my life. It's gonna surpass all expectations. Hang on. We go to just see whatever unfolds and don't let any expectations get in the way of enjoying what's in front of us. So why is it so hard to just open up a book or go on the computer or wash the dishes or take out the broom or do any other thing in the moment that we're in, if that's, you know, what needs to be done, even if it's not exactly what you had imagined you would be doing in that moment? Life will just unfold as it unfolds, whether or not we're mentally there experiencing things. Cuando tenemos an expectation of a perfect day or, you know, a perfect vision of something, and something comes in that doesn't fit into that vision, that's where the gap between expectation and reality will really get us down. For example, if you think your husband's gonna be home at 5 p.m. on the dot and he gets home at, 5:45, that gap of 45 minutes can be a lovely time where you do whatever the heck you want and you don't have to worry about anybody else. Or it can be a gap of empty loneliness where you can't focus on anything and you just feel really down, all because you're just wishing that he was home. God has really been working on me to learn my lesson in this area. He is really trying to teach me to enjoy the moment in front of me. The fact that I had to change my flight 6 times, and now I'm trying to leave here and I had to change my flight twice. I want to like maniacally laugh right here. Oh my gosh. So yeah, it seems like the more opportunities I'm given to learn this lesson and I still sit in that waiting game, the more these opportunities crop up. Every day, every hour, every week. Have I mentioned yet that I had to change my flight 6 times? God is like,
oop, you haven't learned your lesson yet? Here you go. Let's make you reschedule your flight again. Try to learn your lesson this time, would ya?
Rules to the waiting game. First big rule to making change, right? You need to catch yourself in the act of wasting your time thinking about a moment that you wish would happen already. Because if you never know that you are doing this to yourself, then you cannot make a change. You don't know there's any change to make, right? Piensa en ese momento and why it is you want that thing to happen. Why are you waiting for it? Is it a person you're waiting for and you think they're gonna lift you out of a sad mood? Is it a vacation you're waiting for and you think it's gonna reset you and you'll get this instant burst of fresh energy as soon as you leave on vacation? I think you'll find that if you can put your finger on what exactly you're waiting for, why are you waiting for that thing, you can find other things to do to fulfill that hope or desire. When do you expect this thing to happen? Is it a few minutes, or is it a month, or is it several months? What can you do to fill that time that you're waiting instead of just letting your mind go into this negative waiting mode? If it's something quick, like waiting for a friend to pick you up in the next 5 minutes, you can put a couple dishes in the dishwasher, you can meditate for 5 minutes, you can send an email, you can pull out that Duolingo and work on that Español. If you don't know how long it'll be, then great. You don't even have to be waiting at all. You can dive into a project, you can read some of your book, you can play the guitar, you can watch my YouTube videos. Although I do tend to go to YouTube videos a lot when I am in waiting mode, which isn't always the best thing. Unless you're learning something, that's great. Yo he aprendido that if I have 15 minutes or more, I can basically get into anything. Many times and for many different things, I imagine that I would need, probably at least an hour to do this thing. But honestly, if you put your mind into like the mode of, I need to pound this out as fast as I can, you can usually get done way more than you ever expected in that 15 minutes or so. If the time you're waiting is weeks, months, years maybe, then you have a lot of time to practice patience, my friend. A lot of time to work on your mental game, refocusing your energy when you start to find yourself slip into that waiting mode. So here's some things you can do / things that I have tried. Some of them don't always work, some of them work better than others. Kind of depends on the mood, the mindset. Hi. Hi. I'm almost done. Holy cow. I find that generally when I am in waiting mode, I'm not really doing anything, or I'm doing something I don't really feel good about, like scrolling on my phone or snacking when I absolutely do not need any more food in my stomach. So something that helps me get out of that is just doing something, anything. Dishes.
Estoy calentando nieve para lavar trastes.
Laundry, just getting myself up off my butt to pick up that stray shoe that's been sitting in the kitchen for 3 days. Action, some sort of forward motion is always good. Sometimes I'm really struggling to get my rear in gear, and so I set a timer. Maybe I set it for a low amount of time, 5 or 10 minutes, to say, okay, I have this time to sit on my butt and be as bored out of my mind as possible, as unproductive and lazy, couch potato as I want to be, and as soon as that timer rings, I am up and I'm doing the next thing. Sometimes it's a longer amount of time where I say, okay, I'm gonna take 15 minutes and just clean up as much as I can. Honestly, the time sometimes depends on your mood. Sometimes you're way stuck in waiting mode that's just so hard to get out. Sometimes you're kind of like, I'm just feeling lazy, but I could get up easily. So kind of go based on what are you thinking will help the most in that moment. Use a timer. Waiting on a person. Sometimes I have found myself waiting for Tomas or whoever because I feel exhausted and I just want to hand the kids over and be done for the day. I just want to rest, chill out, not have a million moms every 5 seconds. Oh gosh, how many sessions do I need in order to film this? Okay. Whew, just ran up the stairs. If that's the case that I just kind of feel like I need the break from the kids, I need to find something to relieve myself for a bit. Sometimes that's go outside because fresh air is always good for everybody. Sometimes I just sit in the hammock and the kids play in the yard. Sometimes we go for a walk and both kids will actually sit in the stroller for me. So I can just chill, like put on a podcast, walk along, not have to... Can you hear that crying? Oh gosh, I'm almost done, I swear. I have like 2 more minutes. Sometimes I can distract the kids with YouTube for a little bit. Sometimes we just go in the bedroom, I lay on the bed and they just play, sometimes play nice together in the bedroom, and I can just like shut my eyes for 5 minutes or whatever the case is. If I'm waiting for Tomas to get home because I feel lonely and I'm wishing for maybe adult connection, a lot of times a phone call will do the trick. Usually, at least one of my sisters or my mom are available to answer the phone and chat for a while. It takes my mind off things. It usually gets me off my butt. For some reason, when I'm talking on the phone, I'm usually walking around and around. I don't know if anyone else does that. Let me know in the comments. I also end up usually cleaning up while I'm on the phone. Something especially interesting and really great for quitting the waiting game is well, first, let me know in the comments what you do to get yourself out of the waiting game. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you get something out of this video. Hit the like button if you do/did, because hey, it really helps to support my channel. And so saving the best for last. Okay, do something random. Maybe something silly like taking photos of yourself posing in funny ways. Look up something you're curious about. Challenge yourself to paint a picture in 5 minutes. Cocinar una nueva receta. Doing things that are out of your norm, especially when they make your brain work a little, will almost always pull you out of a hard place. Plus, then you have something to talk about. Whether, is that snowmobile? Can you hear that? I don't know if you can hear that. Whether you get to say how badly you failed or how much fun you had, it'll make a great story. Hasta la próxima. Bye. Can you hear that crying? Oh gosh, I'm almost done, I swear. I have like 2 more minutes. Honey, can you sit still, please? Where are you going?